StraihtAllDay.com.
You are now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, we're not done. We're going to give you a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves anyone out there, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And we put all this together into one philosophy. We have streamlined our process, codified our entire system. We have written a hardcover book on the subject. We have a university, and you are listening to the daily masterclass that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today, I want to share with you some more of my counterintuitive beliefs. I seem to have a whole lot of these, and I want to make sure that I'm on the record with everything. Now, I've actually gone on the record probably with each one of these at some point in different episodes of this show, but I want to put them all together into one. Now, way back, a couple of years back in episode 936, I did Counterintuitive Beliefs Volume 1. So you can go listen to that again. That's at episode 936. You can go find any episode of the history of the show all on one page if you just go to workonyourgamepodcast.com. That's workonyourgamepodcast.com. And what are these counterintuitive beliefs? I mean, I don't think this needs that much of an explanation, but I will give you a definition of the word counterintuitive. It means contrary to intuition or to common sense expectation, but often, nevertheless, true. That right there is a good definition for this entire philosophy, this entire show, for me personally. Contrary to intuition or common sense expectation, but often, nevertheless, true. So these are some ideas that maybe your common sense will tell you that the real thing, the true thing, is the exact opposite of what I'm saying. I'm going to say the opposite of that, and I'm going to explain to you why I have these counterintuitive beliefs. And I want to give you a hint. All of you creators out there, all of you brand builders, all of you people who are building a business or a brand around yourself as a person. If you don't have any counterintuitive beliefs, nobody will ever pay any attention to you. So I'm not telling you that you need to accept any of my counterintuitive beliefs, but you do need to figure out what some of your own are. Whether you already have some that maybe you don't talk about too much, or if you don't have any, you need to come up with some. Because if all your beliefs are quote unquote common sense, or they're going along with what everybody else already agrees with and believes, well, why do I need to listen to your show? You're telling me something that I already have heard of, I already believe it, I already understand the explanation. What do I need you for? If you're just going on, how would you get on the stage, or why would you write a book if everything in your book or everything you're going to say in that speech is exactly what I already believe and I already agree with? Then what the hell do we need you for? Why would anybody want to interview you? You're not offering me anything from my brain, anything that's going to challenge me to think or look at things any differently. Then why are you even here? What is the purpose of your presence if you don't have any counterintuitive beliefs? There's a podcast host by the name of Tim Ferriss. I mentioned him in my podcast that I listened to, most recent series that I did, and I keep referring back to those episodes, so let me make sure I tell you what episodes those were. It was back in December of 2020, and that was episodes number 1637 and 1638. Podcasts that I listened to, part 1 and part 2. I think I listed maybe 10 shows there, for 8 or 10 shows there. And one thing that Tim Ferriss would ask his guests, I don't know if he still asks it in every episode now, but he would always ask it. He said, what's something that you believe that most people would think is crazy? In other words, he was asking, what is a counterintuitive belief that you have that you're willing to stand on and announce on the air and then explain why you believe that thing? And he was asking this of every single guest that he had. And what's the assumption in him asking that question is that he was only bringing people on his show who had at least one counterintuitive belief. Otherwise, why the hell would he be interviewing them? All they're going to do is tell us more of what we already know. So I already shared with you, I believe I gave you 3 or 4 in episode 936. But today I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, and I'm going to do part 3. So we're going to do these back to back. I'm going to do 4 today. I'm going to do 4 tomorrow. Counterintuitive beliefs. This is volume 2, and then we'll do volume 3 after that. And I think I have even more than this. So you should be looking out for volume 4, 5, 6, 7, and etc. moving forward in the future. But we're only going to do back to back. Just volume 2 and volume 3 here today and tomorrow. So I'm going to tell you what each belief is, then I'll explain why I have that belief as we proceed. Point number 1, today's topic once again are my counterintuitive beliefs. This is volume 2. Point number 1, and oh yeah, one more thing. Everything that I'm going to say here, I have said at some point on this show in the past, but I'm going to go into explanation of why it is, and I'll also refer you to any episodes that go even deeper into any of these things that I'm bringing up as I get into them. So number 1, hard work does not beat talent. I know. Somebody told you that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Somebody tell you that? I know somebody told you that. Maybe you heard it. Maybe you hear somebody was quoted as saying it. It's been attributed to the 20 different people for saying it. I'm here to tell you, I don't care who said it. It's bullshit. I'm telling you that it is not true. In the profession, at the professional level of the business world, the professional level of anything that you do, meaning money is being exchanged, and there's a certain level of expectation from a professional. You cannot hard work your way into the room, let alone are you going to be able to perform and deliver and get paid for it. If you don't have talent, and when I say talent here, I'm using talent in a wider sense here. Talent meaning natural ability, some type of skill that separates you from everybody else who wants to be good at that thing. If you don't have that talent, listen, you're not even getting in the room, let alone, it won't even matter how hard you work because nobody's going to know who you are because you won't even have an opportunity to show what you have. Talent, ladies and gentlemen, is your entry fee into the game. Hard work, and in a wider sense of me using hard work here, that means the discipline, the professionalism, the consistency, the showing up every day, the delivering all the time, all of those things, that's what I'm using that's what I'm encompassing when I say hard work in this sense. That's the payment plan, the recurring payments that allow you to stay in the room. So if you look at something like basketball, the sport that I come from, that I played professionally, without talent, you're not getting to the professional level. All right, you're not even getting a tryout. They're not even looking at you. No agent is interested in representing you. No team wants you. An exposure camp might not even let you sign up to come to the camp unless they're just trying to take your money, which they do many times. They're prone to doing that. But you're not even getting a look. Nobody's even looking at you. So the fact that you work hard and that you want it and that you believe in yourself and that you're really serious, all of those we can put under the umbrella of hard work in this sense when it comes to this phrase that is not true. All right, none of those things matter if you have no talent. All right, you're 5 feet, 5 inches tall. I don't care how hard you work, how strong your will, how much you want it, how often you go work on your game, how serious you are about it, and all the other shit that your coaches and your parents and your friends and some idiot motivator told you that you need to do to make it in life. If you do not have talent, if you're 5'5" and I'm 6'5" and you're going up against me, you're going to lose. Right? I'm getting that job over you no matter how hard you work. Why? Because I have talent that you just simply do not have. And in life, this is the reality. Now, again, a lot of your teachers won't tell you this. Your coaches won't tell you this. Your parents ain't going to tell you this. Your friends are not going to tell you this. Maybe if any people in any of those categories is someone who's willing to tell you something that will disappoint you to your face, then they'll tell you. But what I've found in my experience in life is that those individuals are few and far in between. Someone who will actually tell you what's real and just tell you with no chaser, no bullshit, not putting any sauce on it, but just telling you straight up, listen, you don't have the talent to make it here. You probably should go find something else to do or another way to get your dreams out there. You got to have talent in this game, and this game meaning life. At the professional level, talent matters. Now, you can get to the heights of the amateur ranks through hard work. I remember I said something along these lines of what I'm talking about here. Hard work does not beat talent. I said this on social media years back, that you need talent in order to make it. And a bunch of people came on and said, well, Dre, I disagree, because I had a lot of college teammates. They were more talented than me, but I outworked them and I ended up being a starter and I was playing more minutes than them and this and that. And a few people said something like that, but every single one of them who was saying it, I said, well, yeah, that took you to the heights of amateur levels. Nobody was getting paid there. So yeah, you can hard work your way to being one of the best amongst the amateurs. You want to become a professional, you need talent. Right? And if you don't have any talent, even if you're able to squeak your way into the professional level, here's what's going to happen. You're going to be at the bottom of the totem pole and you're going to stay there the entire time you're at the professional level. Why? Because you simply don't have the talent to compete with other people. I remember when I met this guy he was a professional basketball trainer. I don't know if he still trains, but the last I heard from him, his name was Scott Savor. He trained basketball players. He trained several NBA players. And I met him in Tampa, Florida in the summer. This is Tampa Bay, Florida, around 2007. So this is early in my career. And I was working out at the same gym that he trains in. And I'm on a basketball court working out on one end. He's on the other end. And he saw me. And I could tell he was watching me. He could see that I could play a little bit. So we started a conversation. And I found out he trained several NBA players. And I asked him, I remember I did a session with him. And I asked him, what's the difference between guys who play overseas and the guys who play in the NBA? He said the guys who play in the NBA have hit the genetic lottery. They just can do things physically that other people cannot do. They exist on a different plane. He did not say, let me tell you what he didn't say. He didn't say they work harder than the players who play overseas or players who play pro work harder than players who play in college, because it's not true. All right, I played high school, I played college, I played pro. I knew some lazy guys who played professional basketball who still played professional basketball and kept getting signed to contracts. You know why? Because they had talent. They could jump a certain height that you just can't jump, no matter how hard you work. They had a certain height that you can't train for. There were certain abilities that they had that other people just did not have, who would never get to the professional level. And this is just the way that it works in life. You might be pissed off about this. You might be angry that your hard work is not being recognized. You can be angry if you want to, but what I suggest you do is that instead of complaining, you learn how to play the game. And I did an episode on the exact subject, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. First of all, let me refer you to episode 728, where I go even deeper into this very subject. And the title is, episode 728, You Have Been Lied To. Hard work does not beat talent. Episode 618, Your hard work may not be enough. Episode 1139, It takes more than hard work. Then you can also go to hardworkaintenough.com, where you can get the full 90-minute masterclass that I did on that, and you can get that for free. Again, hardworkaintenough.com. Episode 1112, Hard work is not an achievement. So anybody told you that just hard work is the thing that you need to be doing in life, and that makes you great, and this is something to be celebrated. Hard work is not an achievement, people. Hard work only matters once you're in the room. If you're not in the room, it doesn't matter how hard you're working, because nobody will know about it. And frankly, nobody cares that you're working hard if you haven't achieved a result. And you can't achieve a result if you're not in the room. You can't get in the room without talent. In episode 1210, that subject was do not complain, play the game. So the game is you got to have talent. So you might be asking, Dre, all right, how do I play the game then? If I don't have that much talent in this particular area, but I'm working hard, and you're telling me that that's not going to help me create success, how can I play the game without complaining? What am I supposed to do then? Here's what you do. Stop trying to force your way into a place in which you do not have natural abilities, you do not have talent, i.e. you do not have anything that pushes you to the top of the pile, the front of the line, because otherwise you're going to be struggling for mediocrity. And I've talked about that in episodes here on the show. So what you need to do, when I say play the game, that means figure out where you do have talent, because every human being has talent. This is the silver lining in this point. Figure out where you do have talent and focus your energy there instead of trying to focus your energy on somewhere that you do not have talent, because that will be a failing endeavor. Point number 2. Topic, once again, is my counterintuitive beliefs. This is volume 2. Volume 1 was episode 936. Number 2, most creative people are horrible salespeople. Yes, this is true. Now, there are some creative people who are listening to this show right now. You're a great creator. You come up with different ideas. Maybe you're publishing content. Maybe you're writing. You have all these things that you want to do. You have these visions for the ways that you want to help people and how you can help people, and all these ways you can get into the game and put things out. And you have a vision for what you want to do. You're not a bad visionary, and you're not bad at creating. You're actually good. If you had the opportunity to really serve certain people at a certain level, you would do excellently. I 100% believe that you would be excellent if you had the chance to really serve the right type of people who are willing to invest in whatever it is that you're offering, whatever you would ask for. You're great at it. Here's the problem. You can't get that opportunity because you are a terrible salesperson. You can't sell to save your life. Now, I just did a 3-part series on this exact point, why you can't sell to save your life. It actually should have been parts 2, 3, and 4, because I didn't realize episode 701, I titled it, Why You Can't Sell to Save Your Life. But then what I did on top of that is I went in episodes number 1687, 1688, and 1689, I titled Why You Can't Sell to Save Your Life, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. So you need to go listen to those episodes. Again, that's 1687, 88, and 89, where I'll give you 12 reasons why you are sucking at sales. Many people who are highly creative are terrible at selling. And a lot of people who are great at selling are not that good at being creative. Now, the question is, which person is going to get further in life? Which person is going to get further business-wise? The great creator who can sell, or the great seller who can't create? The answer is the great salesperson will always get further. And I got a master class, believe it or not, I got a master class coming on this exact subject. Your ability to sell yourself and how it really separates you from the other creators out there, even when other people are more creative than you. You can outlast them simply because you're a better salesperson. The reason why I'm not going to try to get into the reason why many people are horrible salespeople. Maybe it's just people's nature that some people just love to create. And right now we have all these platforms for creation and self-publishing and putting your stuff out there. But there are not a whole lot of platforms for selling. I mean, there are platforms where you can sell, but they're not platforms that encourage selling. That's the best way I would describe it. They don't encourage selling. They allow selling. You can sell, but how are you going to sell? How are you going to get people to pay attention? How are you going to get people to know what you're doing? Here's the thing you need to understand. I talked about this in episode number 1515. The title of that episode is You Are a Marketer. And I put marketer in all capital letters. Again, episode 1515. Understand that marketing is the relationship between you and your consumer, and creating that relationship is part of the relationship. Many creative people are so focused on creation. Let me write another article, record another episode, make another video, put something else out, get some more likes and comments and followers and subscribers, that they never ask themselves, how am I actually going to make any money from this? How am I actually going to sell this? And maybe they do ask themselves that, but the question is, they don't put nearly as much time, attention, energy, focus, and money into learning how to sell their work as they do in creating their work. In episode number 609, I told you there are 5 forms of investment: time, money, attention, energy, and focus. Anything that you're good at in life, you must put all 5 of these investments into it. If you are in a relationship right now, I mean a human, intimate relationship, you have invested time, money, attention, energy, and focus. If you are really good at your job, you have invested time, money, attention, energy, and focus. If you're an athlete who's in great shape and you're great at playing your sport, you have invested time, money, attention, energy, and focus. If you have an audience online, whether a written audience, audio audience, a video audience on some social media platform, you have an audience. You have invested time, money, attention, energy, and focus. If you are terrible at sales, it is because you are short. You have not made the proper investments of time, money, attention, energy, and focus. That's why you're terrible at sales. You have not invested in it yet. You have not put enough of an investment in it. Look at any of you creators out there who is not doing great at selling what you do. Ask yourself, how much investment have you made into your ability to do the thing versus how much investment you have made in your ability to sell the thing. And in case nobody ever told you, there is a huge difference between doing the thing and selling the thing. And yes, there are 2 separate things. Just because you're good at doing something doesn't mean people are going to buy it. You built a better mousetrap. Now you got to let the mice know about it. All right, building a great mousetrap is a great idea until you realize that no mice are coming to the mousetrap because you didn't do any marketing for you didn't do any marketing for your product. So now no mice came to the mousetrap. I told you in episode number 1652, the 4 C's of selling that I borrowed from Jordan Belfort. Well, he made it a hot line, I made it a hot song. He just named the 4 C's. I went and actually fleshed those things out. In episode number 1594, I told you where to spend your time when you are selling. In episode number 1575, this is the one you should listen to regarding this point. Those of you who are having this challenge, doing the thing versus selling the thing. And yes, they are 2 different disciplines. And yes, you need to be giving just as much time to selling as you are to doing. If you are not doing this, this is why you are not good at selling, even though you have great stuff that could easily help a whole lot of people. The things that you focus on in life, you create. A lot of creators are terrible at selling because they don't focus on selling. They focus on create. You have all this value, but nobody else knows about it. So what are you going to do about this? This can be fixed with the right amount of focus. Again, listen to 609 about the 5 forms of investment, and then doing the thing versus selling the thing is episode 1575. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, I'm giving you my Counterintuitive Beliefs, Volume 2. Here's the 3rd counterintuitive belief. Bet on yourself is terrible life advice. This is some of the worst advice that people give. Bet on yourself. And let me tell you when people give this advice. They only give this advice at one time, and this makes it doubly terrible advice. The only time someone gives you the advice to bet on yourself is when another person, whether it's that person or someone else, they bet on themselves, they end up winning the bet, and now that they're getting all the glory from the fact that they bet on themselves and won, now everybody's looking at that person as a success story and saying, oh, see, this is the reason why you need to bet on yourself. See, this person bet on themselves, they won. You need to do it. They bet on themselves, they won. You need to do it. She bet on herself, she won. You need to do it. This is terrible fucking advice. Why is this terrible advice? Because most of the people who bet on themselves do not win. That's why it's terrible advice. Do not bet on yourself just because you saw somebody else do it. That's stupid. That's terrible advice. Any of you ever been to a casino? All right, you know why casinos make so much money? All right, can somebody tell me why casinos make so much money? The reason they make so much money is because most people lose. Okay, the whole setup of a casino is for them to win. All right, the house usually wins. Next time you go to a casino, look around at all the activity and all the lights and all the people playing and people having fun and people celebrating because they won a little bit of money. Listen, for every person walking out of a casino happy because they made more money than they lost, there are 999 people walking out who lost. All right, the casino wins overall. So when someone wins in a casino, they are the exception that proves the rule. All right, any of you who has ever gambled in your life, any of you who is a consistent gambler, if you were really to think about it and count up all the money you made, all the money you won versus all the money that you lost gambling, you are a lifetime loser. Net, you are a loser. You lost. Guaranteed. I'm not a big time gambler, but the little bit of gambling that I have done, in the course of my life, I have lost more than I've won. This is a fact. And that's why me, you, and everybody, we get so excited when we win. It's a big deal because most of the time you don't win, you lose. The gambling industry is set up to take money out of your pocket. All right, that's what it is. The lottery, my economics teacher in college said the lottery is a tax on the stupid. If you're really thinking rationally, that's really what it is, because most of the people who play the lottery ain't winning. And even when you do win, it does not come close to making up all the money that you invested in trying to win. All the money that you lost, in other words. Betting on yourself is bad advice because people only say this when they see somebody else win a bet, but they don't even pay attention to all the other 1,000 people. For every one winner, the other 1,000 people who bet on themselves and lost. Bet on yourself is bad advice, and another reason why it's bad advice is people aren't giving you half of the equation. If you're going to bet on yourself, then you need to set that bet up for you to win. And guess what? I got a masterclass on that subject. It's episode number 952, how to bet on yourself and win. Now, if you're going to bet on yourself, I think you should set yourself up for success. Wouldn't that just make sense? So go listen to episode 952 so that you know how to actually make the bet work in your favor. You're not just going out there betting, which you're exposing yourself, and you're probably going to lose because the casino industry, the gambling industry they already have all the mechanisms in place to entice you into betting, but they already know that the odds are in their favor. All right, because if they didn't, they'd be idiot business people. But they're not idiots. They've invested time, money, attention, energy, and focus in learning how to take your money. All right, and that's why casinos make so much money. But then people keep coming in and investing their money and walking out with less money than they walked in with. It's an amazing industry. I mean, I should have gotten to the casino industry. I might stop this podcast and build my own casino, because betting on yourself is terrible advice that so many people in life seem to be following. Now, when I say bet on yourself, I'm not talking about go to a casino and play roulette. I mean, the kind of betting on yourself that I'm actually referring to here, I'm just using that as a metaphor. Kind of betting on yourself I'm referring to is somebody saying, well, I want to make it to professional sports. Like I told you a couple of weeks ago, I had an episode where there was an athlete who wrote me an email. He was like, I'm not getting the looks from colleges that I want, so I want to just go try to play overseas. And I said to him, well, if you can't get a look from a college, how do you think you're good enough to play overseas? You're not even good enough to get a look from a college. What are you talking about? And he said, well, you're doubting me. I'm going to go make it happen. Watch. So he was basically saying he's going to bet on himself. Well, just because he bet on himself doesn't mean he's going to win. He's probably not going to win. Why? Because 99.9% of athletes who play basketball ain't making it pro. I don't care what you believe. I don't care how much you want to make it, how motivated you are, how many Kobe Bryant hype up videos you watch before you go to the gym. All right, if you ain't got that talent and you don't have that performance and you don't know the right people and you don't know how to sell yourself, you ain't getting in the game. All of those things matter in getting in the game. Now, again, these are counterintuitive beliefs. Most of your friends, family, coaches, mentors, teachers will not tell you any of the things that I'm telling you. At least they wouldn't tell you as plainly as I'm saying it to you. They would say it in a roundabout way, to almost to the point that you damn near don't even get the point. But you will get the point when I'm telling you. Betting on yourself is bad advice because, first of all, you shouldn't be getting into any bet unless you have odds that you're going to win. Unless you have the odds in your favor that you're going to win. A 50-50 bet is not a good bet. You want at least 51-49 odds that you're going to win. All right, did everybody understand the logic of that? If you don't, you read some books on probability. All right, you don't want a 50-50 bet. 50-50 bet is not a good bet. Set yourself up for success by playing the game in such a way that the odds are in your favor to be successful. How do you do this? For example, if you're a basketball player and you're 5 feet 5 inches tall, betting on yourself is a bad idea, at least when it comes to basketball, because there's a pretty good chance you're going to lose no matter how good you are just because of your size. The odds are already set up against you because of your lack of height. Now, if you're 6'7", playing basketball is a good bet on yourself. Why? Because of your height, you're going to get opportunities that the 5'7" guy is never going to get. No matter how good or terrible you are at actually playing, the fact that you're 6'7", somebody's going to give you a chance just because you're 6'7". All right, those are odds in your favor. Do you understand that? That's the way that it works. So in life, you can extend that out to anything that you're doing in life. Where are the odds in your favor? Where do you have some natural abilities, natural inclinations, some talents that other people do not have in that same area that give you an advantage over other people? Being born into a certain family is odds in your favor. If you know somebody who knows somebody, those are odds in your favor. Your father owns a business and they're giving you an opportunity to take over the business. All right, you can become an entrepreneur. You didn't have to do nothing. All right, you just got born into the right family. Those are odds in your favor. It'd be a good idea to bet on yourself that you can become an entrepreneur in that situation. You're born into a family that owns a business. Now, again, these may not apply to you, but you can take these same principles and apply them to yourself and ask yourself, where do I have an advantage? Where do I know something that people don't know? Where do I have a skill that other people don't have? That's where you bet on yourself. Not just anywhere randomly just because you decided you want to bet on yourself in that area. You will walk away without your money if you do that. Point number 4. Today's topic, once again, I'm giving you my Counterintuitive Beliefs, Volume 2. Number 4, you want things to be unfair. Now, I know we have had over the last year, it's been brought more to the surface in the last year, but this is not a new thing. It's been going on for 40, 50 years. This whole movement of social justice and equality, right? Racial equality, gender equality, everything being equal, at least according to what the slogans and hashtags are saying. I want to let you know that this is a bullshit idea that will never actually happen. All right, there will never be a time when everything's equal. And I don't care what kind of equal you're talking about. Equal distribution, equal opportunities will not be equal. Distribution will not be equal. Skills will not be equal. Talent will not be equal. These things will never, ever, ever be equal. Why am I so sure that things will never be equal? Because human beings are not all the same. We are all created equal, according to what it says in some spiritual text, but we do not remain equal. From the day that when you are born, the exact moment that you come out of your mother's womb, or however they got you out of there, we're all equal at that moment. But from day one, things start changing. Why? Because we're in different environments. We are raised by different people. We get exposed to different things, and we become very, very different from day one moving forward. And every day we become more and more different. So there will never be equality. So anyone who's trying to preach to you about things being equal, it ain't happening. All right, they are preaching to you some bullshit and they're selling you a wolf ticket basically to get you hyped and excited for whatever it is they're really trying to sell you, which is something else. And it works with a lot of people. It works on a lot of people because a lot of people have bought into this idea of everything being equal. It's bullshit. Things will never be equal. Episode number 730. I told you, equality is a myth. Episode 1628, I address the subject of equal opportunity. Because people say, well, what about opportunity being equal, Dre? Maybe everybody won't get the same results, but what about everybody getting the same opportunity? No, that's bullshit too. Everything will not be equal that way either. Episode 1622, I told you why equality is impossible. It is impossible. I just explained it to you, but I went deep in episode 1622. And even racial inequality. People say, well, what about the racial, the divide? There's this amount of wealth, the wealth gap, and then the housing, and then the education, and then the health. And what about that between races, Dre? What about equality there? That's bullshit too. That's not going to happen either. And I explained this. That's episode 1619. Racial inequality is the fight that you will not win. You can fight if you want. I'm not telling you what to do or not do here. I want you to understand that. I'm just telling you the beliefs that I have, and I'm explaining to you why I have these beliefs, and I'm telling you where to get further context on why I have these beliefs. In life, this is point number 4. There's a counterintuitive belief. You want inequality. You want things to not be equal. Why is this? As I just told you, we just talked about how hard work doesn't beat talent. There are certain people who have certain talents in certain areas that are not equal to other people's. And those are the people who get the opportunities, and the people who don't have those talents, they don't get in. That is inequality. It's inequality of opportunity based on inequality of talent. Does everybody have the same talents? Of course not. Betting on yourself. There are certain areas where it would be smart for me to bet on myself and it'd be smart for you not to. And there are other areas in life where it'd be smart for you to bet on yourself and it'll be stupid for me to bet on myself in the same area. Why? Because we don't have the same opportunities. We don't have the same abilities. Me and you do not have the same skills. You and I don't have the same backgrounds. We don't have the same relationships. So there are certain areas where it'd be smart for you to go in there and it'd be stupid for me to try to get in. Why? Because we ain't the same. That is inequality, and that's the way it's supposed to be. You don't want things to be completely 100% fair, all right? Because then we would all be robots and life wouldn't be life and this show wouldn't exist. Social justice, the movement, at least some of the things that I've heard, there's a lot of things that go into it, but one of the things they talk about is equality, making things more equal for everybody. If somebody's higher up than everybody else, let's pull them down so that everybody's on the same plane. That is bullshit. That will not happen, first of all. And even if you did it and you tried to manufacture it, it still wouldn't work. Why? Because human beings get to make decisions. Now think about this. You went to school. Maybe you're in school. You ever had a classmate a peer, someone who grew up in the same neighborhood as you, maybe someone who grew up in the same house as you, and they had the same opportunities as you, same situations, same environments, but made completely different decisions from you and that person are in completely different places right now in life, even though a whole lot of things were pretty much equal. Has this happened to you? Of course it has. I don't even need to wait for you to answer the question. Why? Because human beings make different decisions. We're all wired differently. We do different things. Even if you give everybody the exact same setup, you're still going to have there's going to be completely divergent results. Why? Because everybody ain't going to do the same things with the same opportunities. True or not? I mean, there's a gym in the building that I live in. It's a gym. It's available to everybody. It costs absolutely nothing to use it. It's part of the price that you pay to live here. You get access to the gym. So how are there people who live in this building who are not in great physical shape? How is that possible? There's a gym in there. It's treadmills, it's weights, it's benches. They got the pull-up bars. They got the Smith machine. They got the cable wire things. They got the big exercise balls that you can bounce on. They got the benches. There's a water fountain in there. They got the wipes to wipe down the machines if you're afraid of getting COVID. They got everything in there. Ellipticals, exercise bikes. They got everything. So how is it people living in the building out of shape when there's a free gym in the building? Why is that, people? It's because everybody does not do the same thing with the same opportunities. So unfairness is going to happen in life. And then what happens is when people get different outcomes, even though the opportunities may have been very similar, they complain that things are unfair. No, things are not unfair. You just made different decisions. Now it seems unfair, just the decisions were different. The actions were different. And then later on, so if you're out of shape and then you have kids and your kids are following your example and then they're out of shape, okay, now the kids are like, well, look at this inequality, look at this unfairness. No, it was the environment that you came from because of decisions that somebody made before you. This is all part of the game. And then people say, oh, well, we need to fix this. Well, you can't. That's the problem. Yeah, I would agree that it can be fixed, but it's not going to be fixed. Not in the way that you're trying to force it and manufacture it. Human beings can never be completely equal and never will be. Look at the people who are leading a movement for making things equal. All right. Are they equal to you? Probably not. They probably have more power than you, more money than you, more recognition than you, more resources than you, more skills than you. And they're talking about making things equal. How is that possible? Makes no sense to me. Should everybody get the same opportunities? No. That is the game. The hustle for you is not trying to get the same opportunities as everybody else. The hustle is what opportunities do you have that few other people have that you can take advantage of to get yourself ahead. That's the game. That's the hustle. And that's the fun part of the game. This is not a part that should give you no trepidation or make you feel nervous or anxious. This is the part that should make you happy. That now all you got to do is just maneuver with the hustle and the opportunities that you have that put you above everybody else. Get in the room, build your own room, and that's what it is. Our opportunity has been democratized, ladies and gentlemen. There's plenty of opportunity for everyone these days that was not available even 25 years ago for most people. It's become a lot more flattened out than it was before. But understand that no matter how flattened we democratize opportunity, there will still be losers in the game. Why? Because not everybody wants to do the work. Not everybody wants to hustle. Not everybody has the ability to sell. All right, just because the opportunity is there doesn't mean you're going to win. All right, if I'm a basketball coach and I say everybody in the school has the opportunity to try out for the team, I still have a limit of 15 people on my roster. So the opportunity is equal. Are the outcomes going to be equal? Of course not. If I say, look, I'm making the gym free. If Equinox says, you know what, the gym is free. Nobody has to pay to come to Equinox. And the first month is going to be so crowded in there, you won't even be able to get on the machine. But let about a year or two go by, and it's going to be right back to how it was before. The same people who were paying to use the gym are going to be the same ones using it when it's free. Why? Because people make different decisions. And then the fat people are going to say, oh, that's unfair. Well, no, it's not unfair. You just made a different decision. You can make a different choice whenever you want to. But it's not the people who decided to go to the gym. It's not their fault that you didn't go to the gym. All right, it's not unfair. It's just difference. So then the conclusion of this fourth point here is things are unfair already in life. All right, don't try to fight the current and swim against the current and try to make everything fair. Because even when you think you have made everything fair, the results are going to be so different, you're going to think that you messed up somewhere along the line, but you didn't mess up in trying to make things fair. What you messed up in was fighting a fight that you shouldn't even try in the first place. That was the mistake that you made. But if you pay attention to these counterintuitive beliefs, you won't make that mistake. So let's recap these points. The topic, once again, is my counterintuitive beliefs, volume 2. Again, episode 936 is where you can get volume 1. First point here, hard work does not beat talent. Talent is your entry fee into the game. Hard work is what keeps you in the game. But with no talent, it doesn't matter how hard you work because nobody will ever know about it. Point number 2, most creative people are horrible salespeople because they focus so much on creating. They have never made the 5 forms of investment into learning how to sell. And that's why they can't get their creations into the hands of the people who actually need it. But guess what? I can help you with that. Point number 3, bet on yourself is terrible life advice. People only say bet on yourself when they see somebody place the bet and won. Most people who bet on themselves lose. Most people who gamble lose all their money. The house always takes you. If you're going to bet on yourself, make sure you're betting on something that is set up with odds in your favor. There is a hustle to making that happen. Don't just randomly do it. And point number 4, you want things to be unfair. They're already unfair. Do not try to fight the current and make things more fair for everybody because human beings are all different. They will do different things and make different decisions. No matter how equal you try to make things, it still won't turn out equal. That is a losing fight. Only idiots are trying to make everything equal. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of idiots out there in the world, but you don't have to be one. Now, if you want to learn how to take your abilities, your creations, your ideas, your visions, and turn them into something real, first of all, you got to get the foundation of the mindset. Then you got to learn how to sell them out into the world. And I got courses that cover both of those. One is called Bulletproof Mindset. That's a 12-module Bulletproof Mindset 2.0. We updated that course, 12-module course, everything you need to lay the foundation of your mental game. Then I got a course called Sell Yourself, which will teach you how to take what you have and sell it to the world. I mean, the title is, I think both of those titles are pretty self-explanatory. Both of them and 10 other courses are available exclusively in Work on Your Game University. You can learn all about that. The link is down below in the description wherever you're watching this, or you can just type in your browser right now, workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.